Weta is the common name for a group of about 70 insect species in the families Anostostomatidae and Rhaphidophoridae, endemic to New Zealand. The word is from the Māori language, where singular and plural have the same form. General characteristics: many weta are large by insect standards and some species are among the largest and heaviest in the world. Their physical appearance is like a katydid, longhorned grasshopper, or cricket, but the hind legs are enlarged and usually very spiny. Many are wingless. Because they can cope with variations in temperature, weta are found in a variety of environments, including alpine, forests, grasslands, caves, shrublands and urban gardens. They are nocturnal, and all New Zealand species are flightless. Different species have different diets. Most weta are predators or omnivores preying on other invertebrates, but the tree and giant weta eat mostly lichens, leaves, flowers, seed heads and fruit. Weta can bite with powerful mandibles. Tree weta bites are painful but not particularly common. Weta can inflict painful scratches, with the potential of infection, but their defense displays consist of looking large and spiky, and they will retreat if given a chance. Tree weta arc their hind legs into the air in warning to foes, and then strike downwards, so the spines could scratch the eyes of a predator. Pegs or ridges at the base of the abdomen are struck by a patch of fine pegs at the base of the legs, and this action makes a distinctive sound. These actions are also used in defense of a gallery by competing males. The female weta looks as if she has a stinger, but it is an ovipositor, which enables her to lay eggs inside rotting wood or soil. Some species of Hemiandris have very short ovipositors, related perhaps to their burrowing into soil and laying their eggs in a special chamber at the end of the burrow. Taxonomy and evolution. Fossilized orthopterans have been found in Russia, China, South Africa, Australia and New Zealand, but the relationships are very open to different interpretations. Most weta of both families are found in the southern hemisphere. Weta were probably present in ancient Gondwanaland before Zealandia separated from it, although this does not explain their presence in New Zealand. It is very likely that weta dispersed to colonize New Caledonia and Tokeriro. Rhaphidophoridae also dispersed overseas to colonize the Chatham Islands. Although they are of an ancient lineage, the present species are quite young, which conflicts with those earlier ideas about dispersal of weta forebears around the southern hemisphere. Giant, tree, ground, and tusked weta are all members of the family Anostostomatidae. Cave weta are better called Tokeriro, and are members of the family Rhaphidophoridae called cave crickets or camel crickets elsewhere, in a different Ensiferans superfamily. Species: tree weta eggs are laid over the autumn and winter months and hatch the following spring. A tree weta takes between 1 and 2 years to reach adulthood, and over this time will have to shed its skin around 10 times as it grows. Giant weta. The 11 species of giant weta, most significantly larger than other weta, are themselves large by insect standards. They are heavy insects with a body length of up to 100 mm excluding their lengthy legs and antennae, and weigh about 20–30 ag. A captive giant weta filled with eggs reached a record 70 ag, making it one of the heaviest documented insects in the world and heavier than a sparrow. The largest species of giant weta is the Little Barrier Island weta, also known as the Atapinga. Giant weta tend to be less social and more passive than other weta. They are classified in the genus Deinocrida, which is Greek for terrible grasshopper. They are found primarily on small islands off the coast of the main islands, and are examples of island gigantism. Tree weta are those most commonly encountered in suburban settings in the North Island. They are up to 40 on long and most commonly live in holes in trees formed by beetle and moth larvae or where rot has set in after a twig has broken off. The hole, called a gallery, is maintained by the weta and any growth of the bark surrounding the opening is chewed away. They readily occupy a pre-formed gallery in a piece of wood and can be kept in a suburban garden as pets. A gallery might house a harem of up to 10 juveniles of both sexes, females and 1 male. Tree weta are nocturnal. Their diet consists of plants and small insects. The males have much larger jaws than the females, though both sexes will hiss and bite when threatened. The 7 species of tree weta are: the Auckland tree weta Haemodyna thoracica can be found throughout the North Island apart from the Wellington Wairarapa region. The Wellington tree weta H. crassidens occupies Wellington, the Wairarapa, the northern parts of South Island, and the west coast. H. crassidens crassicaris was described from Stevens Island, but is now recognized as H. crassidens. H. trewicki is found in Hawke's Bay. H. femerita is found in Marlborough and Canterbury. The rare H. ricta species occurs in Banks Peninsula. The west coast bush weta H. bruffy largely overlaps with the Wellington tree weta in Nelson in the northern portion of the west coast. H. Māori, the mountain stone weta, lives in the drier areas of the South Island high country from the Kaikoura Ranges south to Rock and Pillar Range near Dunedin. At most sites, it lives on the ground, under stones or in crevices, but in at least 2 island sites which have not been modified greatly, it readily lives both in trees and on the ground. Mountain stone weta can survive being frozen for months in a state of suspended animation down to temperatures of -10 degrees Celsius, because the hemolymph contains special proteins that prevent ice from forming in their cells. It also displays the defensive behavior of playing dead, by lying still for a short time on its back with legs splayed and claws exposed and jaws wide open ready to scratch and bite. When the territories of species overlap, as with the related species H. femerita and H. ricta on Banks Peninsula, they may interbreed, although offspring are sterile. Tusked Weta. Tusked weta are distinctive because the males have long, curved tusks projecting forward from their jaws. The tusks are used to push an opponent. They are not used for biting. The females are similar to ground weta. Tusked weta are mainly carnivorous, eating worms and insects. They consist of 3 species, the Northland tusked weta Hemiandris monstrosus, now named Anisura niacobarica. The Middle Island tusked weta Motuita isolata. And a newly discovered Racumera tusked weta, Motuita riparia. The Northland tusked weta lives in tree holes similar to tree weta. The Middle Island tusked weta, also called the Mercury Island tusked weta after the islands on which it lives, was discovered in 1970. It is a ground-dwelling weta, covering its shallow burrows with leaves. The Middle Island weta is the most endangered weta species, so a Department of Conservation breeding program is establishing new colonies on other islands of the Mercury Island group. The Racumera was discovered in 1996, in the Racumera Range near the Bay of Plenty. Probably, more species are still to be identified. Ground weta. Ground weta are classified in the genus Hemiandris. About 40 species of ground weta occur in New Zealand, and several very similar ones are found in Australia. They are also very like the Californian Cnemotetyxa euro, a similarity perhaps due to their very similar habits and habitat. Most of the Hemiandris have not been described. They hide in burrows in the ground during the day, and those that live in open ground conceal their exit holes with a specially made perforated door. During the night, ground weta hunt invertebrate prey and eat fruit. Cave weta. The 60 species of cave weta have extra long antennae, and may have long, slender legs and a passive demeanor. Although they have no hearing organs on their front legs like species of Haemodyna and Danacrida, some are very sensitive to ground vibrations sensed through pads on their feet. Specialized hairs on the cerci and organs on the antennae are also sensitive to low-frequency vibrations in the air. Cave weta may be active within the confines of their caves during the daytime, and those individuals close to cave entrances venture outside at night. But most species are forest dwellers, and a few are to be found in the high alpine screes living among the broken rocks covered with snow up to 6 months of the year. The weta stay frozen until springtime. New Zealand species are classified in several genera in subfamily Macroporthinae of family Rhaphidophoridae, and are very distant cousins of the other types of weta. Conservation. Although the weta had native predators in the form of birds, reptiles, and bats before the arrival of humans, introduced species such as cats, hedgehogs, rats and mustelids have caused a sharp increase in the rate of predation. They are also vulnerable to habitat destruction caused by humans and modification of their habitat caused by introduced browsers. New Zealand unregistered trademark. Department of Conservation considers 16 of the 70 species at risk. Programs to prevent extinctions have been implemented since the 1970s. Some examples of especially endangered species are even tracked by radio beacons. In popular culture, New Zealand visual effects houses Weta Workshop and Weta Digital are named after the insect, and included a giant version in their 2005 film King Kong. Defunct New Zealand band Weta were also named after the insect. 2ZB talk show host Lindsay Yo also had a character named Wally Weta who was a sidekick of the popular Buzz Bumble children's character. Notes. References. Further reading, Johns, P.M. The Gondwana and Weta, Family Anostostomatidae, Nomenclatural Problems, World Checklist, New Genera and Species. Journal of Orthoptera Research 6, 125 138 doi, 10.2307/3503546. JSTORA 3503546. Steve Chwyk. Mary Morgan Richards. New Zealand Invertebrate Speciation. Archived from the original on February 3, 2006. Retrieved May 8, 2006. Greg H. Shirley. Threatened Weta Recovery Plan. Department of Conservation. Retrieved November 7, 2007. Wallace, G.P. Morgan Richards, M. Chwyk, S.A. Phylogeographical pattern correlates with Pliocene mountain building and the alpine scree Weta. Molecular Ecology 9, 657 666 doi, 10.1046 per joule 1365-294 x 2000.00905 x. PMIDA 10849282. Bleakley, Craig. Ian Stringer, Alistair Robertson and Duncan Heatherley. Design and use of artificial refuges for monitoring adult tree Weta, Hemidina crassidens and H. thoracica. Wellington, NZ Science and Technical Pub, Department of Conservation. ISBN A9780478140620. Salmon, JTA. Key to the Tree and Ground Wetas of New Zealand. Tuatara 6. External links, Weta at the New Zealand Department of Conservation, Bug Identification, Orthoptera at Landcare Research, Weta at the Forest and Bird Kiwi Conservation Club, Wata in Te-Ara, The Encyclopedia of New Zealand, The Secret Life of Wetas, with insect expert George Gibbs.